and we are going to help prepare your database for AI insights, or the really long title, which is Preparing Your Command Database for the Future of AI Insights with Likely to List. And I'm joined here with Sam Jackson. How are you today, Sam?
I am great. Yeah, I'm great. Excited to be here. I feel like this success under your command just gets better and better every time we do it.
I I agree, but I'm also very biased too, because this is my baby, guys. I
100%.
did this at the market center level before I moved to the region level. This is my baby, and I appreciate all of you for being part of this. Okay, so before we jump into all the different things, I do want to say one thing. And actually, how about let's do this? Sam, introduce yourself first, and then I want to talk about what this red text up here actually means. So who are you? What do you do? What's important about Sam? How many
Yeah,
gummy
so
bears do you
I'm
stick to your car?
I'm Sam Jackson. I'm the Director of Innovation Technology for the Georgia Legacy Group and the Carolina Legacy Group. I support 8 market centers along with the award-winning Tech Trainer of the Year, Lucy Senna, who's in here, who's amazing. Love that I get to partner with her every single day. But yeah, supporting the amazing groups that we have here in Georgia. Maps coach, labs advisor, wear many hats, like you, father of 2. Yeah, it's me.
So
You're like
Sam
you're
does
about to
this
say blah blah
thing.
blah. Yeah.
Sam does this thing. Tell him about the gummy bear, because I think this is notable. So that this is one of those things that, like, once you hear, like, you'll never forget who Sam is, kind of thing. So tell me about the gummy bear.
Yeah, so the gummy bear is kind of a stupid thing that there was one time, I think, whenever my wife was pregnant, we were just kind of like waiting for, like, I think we were getting like baby furniture delivered or like loaded into our car. And we're just goofing around and I put like a fruit snack on my windshield just to kind of joke to see how long it would stay there. And we had a blast with it, and it just kind of slowly morphed into every time I travel, what I do is I'll put a gummy bear on my windshield, and I love to get everyone involved in helping me name it. We've had some really fun community names and some suggestions there, but the idea is I have a little travel companion everywhere I go, and it brings me good luck and safe travels. But it's always a fun thing.
I love that. Do you have to lick the gummy bear before you stick it on, or
You do have to lick it
you have to
before you
lick it and
stick
stick
it.
it?
Yeah, and depending on where I travel, especially when I go south, that sucker will melt pretty quickly, and it just turns into goop. It's pretty gross. Yeah.
Does it do better in wintertime?
Uh, Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you run into different issues that then it gets cold, it gets brittle and falls off too. So it's always a challenge.
I gotcha. I gotcha. It's just one of those things. I see him when he posts it up and always it just makes me smile. So
It's my
fun,
thing.
fun internal traditions in your family and stuff like that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do in this section. So what are you going to learn in this section? We're going to go through the journey of a home ownership and why, and a journey of home ownership and its important milestones. We're going to talk about the prime motivators for why people buy or sell. And we're also going to talk about tactics for taking advantage of these opportunities to generate leads and to get your clients and prospects onto your platform. All of this is because of that thing I said that was in red, likely to list. Now, everybody here by this point is probably getting tired of hearing the term AI. They're either tired or excited. I'm both. On some parts of my life, I'm super excited. When people talk about the death of creative people in music, writing, and visual arts, I'm tired of hearing it, and I don't want it to exist. Okay, I don't want a machine replacing me as a writer. By the way, it's not going to happen. I don't care. But all of this is to say, AI is a very powerful tool for finding patterns within huge data sets. And when I mean huge, I mean, like, imagine walking into a warehouse and the warehouse is like 300 feet wide by like 1,000 feet long, and the entire thing is full of wadded up sheets of paper. AI can go in there and find the patterns of the information on those sheets of paper. That's what it can do. And those insights can help us do things with, say, platforms like Command. Now, there's a product. It is not released yet. It is in testing, and I am told it should be out sometime this year. We'll frame it up like that. It is called Likely to List, is what they call it internally. Sam's laughing because he knows how it is. Like,
Q5. It's coming in
yeah,
Q5.
it's coming in Q5. That's the joke, because there is no Q5, right? Um, I have a high level of confidence that we're going to see it this year. And what this tool is it is going to take a look at your command database. It is going to use information within the contact records, connect that with publicly accessible information and the interactions they make when it comes to opening your emails, going to your website, looking at properties, and essentially say, hey, Sam is probably going to buy or sell a house in the next 90 days. What do you guys think about that? Would that be useful to you? Open up Command, know who's going to be ready to go do something.
So you mean to say I open up Command and Command tells me who's going to move inside of my database? Yes, that is beneficial.
That is the concept here. Here's the thing. It's an AI model. It is predictive analytics. It's not going to be perfect. Meaning there's a percentage of confidence that will go with it. It's kind of how they don't rate it on yes or no. It's like we're 70% confident this event will happen. Here's the way I like to look at it though. Anything over 50% adds leverage to your life. That's the way I like to think about it. So let's say you've got 20 people a day that you call from your database to follow up to make sure that you get one appointment so that you can go on one appointment a day so that you can make X number of sales a year, just as an example. Well, what if you could do half the activities and get the same result, or you could do the same activities and get double the results? Both of those are likely scenarios in this. Am I missing anything in that thought process? You're saying you are a maps coach, Sam. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. I think it's allowing us to work smarter. And I see that Jill put in the chat, it's a bit creepy. It's just data. That's just the world that we live in. And I think about my goodness, the amount of times that I get a text message from like or notification from like DoorDash at like 5:30. They're like, hey, did you eat yet? Because they know that that's the time I probably order if I'm going to do it. It's just analytics. It's just data and analytics. They know when I'm going to purchase or use their service. We have the same functionality, or where we will have the same functionality soon.
Absolutely. But first I want to talk about a few things. So Sam, walk us through this before we jump over to you kind of taking the reins in this piece. What is this concept of the 3 levels of a millionaire database?
Yeah, so this goes back to the almost the same thing before when we talked about like the 4 laws of a database, right? There's certain things that we need to understand that makes a good database into an exceptional database, if you will, which we're kind of seeing on screen. So this is kind of a breakdown. I believe this is from Maps models, if I'm not mistaken. This should be kind of rewritten into MREA2. So it's a little bit of a sneak peek with some information here, but the idea is take a look at your database, and we want to kind of gauge where we're at today. And if you look at kind of phase 1, do not raise your hand, but I want you to kind of think out loud. Do you have an essential, effective, or exceptional database? Now, an essential one, hopefully we're all working towards that. Hopefully you did the part today where we downloaded the Command app and you imported your phone contacts. Everyone here should have a name, some type of contact information, ideally a telephone number, an email address, and always be striving for that physical address. Number 3 in that aspect is past business or past contact record, meaning essentially they know you, is what that means. They know you in some context. It's kind of a funky way that they say that. And then at will communication, meaning that we did not steal or download their information. We didn't borrow it from a list. Somebody willfully gave me their cell phone number.
So it's more valuable when they do that than you just data mining the world, is what you're saying.
Well, in a TCPA DNC world, you better bet your butt you have at will communication these days.
Yep. So here's something I want to use the funny term. I want to double click on what he just said right there. I want to triple click on this. Guys, you're going to hear us talk about TCPA and do not call all the time at Keller Williams. The reason why is because you can end up with a lawsuit that can sink your brokerage and you for the rest of your life. Okay. And I don't mean to scare anyone, but I do mean to make you scared, make you incredibly cautious in this. There is one settlement already that has been with Keller Williams to where Gary paid out of pocket like $40 million to settle. And guess what? Gary didn't send the text messages. It was an agent in a market center, and he decided to cover it. That's not gonna happen forever. Guys, Gary makes a lot of money. He's a very successful guy. He does not have endless pockets. It's the same thing with this whole other lawsuit that we've had. You know, Keller Williams is paying the settlement on that, but there comes a point you can't fight everything in that space. And what I'm getting at is TCPA has to do with the do not call list. So if they're on the do not call list, you do not call them unless you have a very specific opt-in process to where they're basically saying, Sam's saying, Patrick, I want you to call me. And some of the opt-ins in command cover for some of that, but you very much, and I'll make sure that we link it down here. I'll go pull it in here just a minute. You want to follow the rules from KW Connect on this. There's a specific set of rules on the industry page. You do not download a third-party list and just start texting people. Automated text can cost you up to $2,500 per text message sent in a violation. And we're in a very litigious world right now with a lot of class action lawsuits. How many days out of the week do you end up getting something? By the way, you may have been involved in a data breach, or you may have been involved in this or that. Guys, it's the same thing. So I am stressing heavily that if you use anything that's like a automated texting platform, or you're calling people in your database or unless they have explicitly given you permission to communicate with them in that specific way, you are playing with fire. You're playing with fire. And it could be more than just your career and your life. You could be ruining the lives of some people around you. Okay. I'm sorry. That was kind of heavy for me to say it that way.
Thing on the soapbox. And we're not trying to fearmonger here. I think the key thing is just remember, reach out to the people that you have permission to reach out to. Build a database of people who know you, like you, trust you, and are willing to do real estate business with you.
100%. And while you go through the rest of this with them, I'm going to pull that industry page to make sure that we have that down at the bottom.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Yep. So the idea here is, we're starting with the people that know us, right? We're downloading our phone. That's the essential database. The effective is a little bit kind of looking like the example that we had from Jackson earlier, right? This is where we're starting to be the real estate expert out there to the public. And we're now doing active lead capturing that is obtaining permission to reach out. So when you saw the newsletter that said like, hey, or the landing page that Jessica helped create that said subscribe to my newsletter, that's our funnel to obtain permission. Now we're collecting that personal information, insights, and preferences. And the goal here is that we're now creating that segment, right? This is that part of communicate in a systematic way. We're creating a segment of people that we're going to reach out strictly on a real estate basis now, because they have that relationship established. So step one is kind of working with people that know us. Step two is starting to work with people that we have a real estate conversation around with, and people are signing up for our services or signing up for communication. And then lastly, number three, this is the pinnacle. Our goal here is to get to where this is kind of automated. And to be quite fair, I have not really seen anyone at the highest level inside of KW quite reach that yet. And it may be one of those things that there is no true finish line, but that's what we're striving for, is a fully automated custom communication. We have some of this with like smart plan triggers and things like that, but the goal is you get to another level with your database that people are reaching out to you on an automated process.
Absolutely. So we're all on a journey here. Just know that you're not going to get here overnight. Their real estate teams have been doing this for years that are still working on this journey. So don't feel called out to go, mine is nowhere near this. I'm not even too essential yet. You're fine. But if you're on the path, let's walk the path together. Okay. Yep. All right. So next up we have, oh my gosh, hang on a second. All right. We're back again, guys. We have another prize coming up. All right. Let me pull that up and let's see what is going to be up next. What item is next up for bid? We have a book this time.
Ooh.
So, Sam, have you read this book yet? Have you gotten the opportunity? Or
I don't think I need to, because every time I talk to you, tell me about everything you learned from it. So no, I have not read this yet, but I feel like I've read it.
So 10x is easier than 2x. It's this whole idea that to do twice as much as you're doing now is actually harder than just reinventing and taking something from a different position. I highly recommend this book. Just recently finished it. Inspired me in a whole lot of ways in my personal life and in my professional life. And we are going to give away a copy. I've been giving away copies all over the place recently. So let me drop the link back into the chat. If anyone has not already filled out the giveaway form, I'm going to drop that back in here and I will give you guys, let's see, we're going to do 30 seconds, or no, let's give them 45 seconds to add yourself if you're not already on it. And then we will randomly pick a number from the list. So, hey Siri, set a timer for 45 seconds. So if you haven't filled this out yet, fill out that form real quick. I'm watching to see the new ones coming in. I'm sure somebody probably forgot. And remember, or I guess it won't matter for the people who weren't here. If you did put your name on the list already, you're good. However, if you're not here, you don't win a prize. So yeah, you got to be here to win. Okay. 22 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Lenka, just click the link. If you need to put your information in, go ahead and click it and just put that in real quick. And oh, time is up. So I'll give her a second in case, since there's maybe a second on that. We'll see if she pops. Actually, hang on a second. Let me see if you're already in the list. You are not. So if you go to that form, fill it out. I'll add you. I'll air quotes add you to it, because since we're having a struggle on the link. Okay. So how about this, Evan? You out there? Evan Ransom. Evan Ransom.
I'm out here.
Out here. Okay, pick a number between 2 and 146.
Okay. 111 for Vault
111. Are we like Vault 111 here?
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay, number
trying to do
111
one
is
of
gonna be Lydia Falsey. Are you still here? Is Lydia still here?
Yes, she's here.
Hey, Lydia,
Hi,
guess what?
Lydia.
You're a winner. I'm going to send you a copy to your address of 10x is easier than 2x. You write that on here to make sure I know what prize that is. That is for the 10x book. And yeah, so be looking for that. I will work on those either at the end of this week or early next week. And it'll be fun. Awesome. Cool. All right, Sam, it's
Yeah.
all you. I am taking off screen share, and Sam's going to walk us through a couple of concepts I think that are very important around home ownership.
Yeah, so we're gonna get around this, and the idea here is, again, we're gonna go after this from the mindset of preparing for that likely to move feature. And I think the important thing is that for that feature to someday work, it's only as good as the data you put into it. And Patrick, I think you're the one that taught me what was it, GIGO? Garbage in is garbage
Yep,
out.
garbage in, garbage out. It's a computer term.
Yeah, so if you have garbage data inside of your database, then you're going to get garbage out of it. And I don't mean to be that extreme, and yet.
Oh, you just got muted somehow.
Yep.
Oh, wait, hang on. You're back. Not back.
Am I here?
There you are. There you
Okay.
go. Okay, that was weird.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
No, but the idea here is that if we're looking for a tool like that, then we need to have really, really good data. And I think it's really important that we need to understand why people move, because this is a really important piece if we're going to predict that they move. So who here, and I love interaction. As a trainer and a coach, I love interactivity. If you can come off mute, because I think that you know, we learn only about 10% of what we retain when we hear something. We retain only about 20% when we see. But when we're actually talking, we can retain up to 50%. So I'd love for you to come off mute and interact. We're gonna have some fun with this one. But who's familiar with the 6 Ds of why people move? I'm sure you've probably heard that concept a few times, both on stage at like the Marina and Mega Camp and some of the trainings that your tech trainers have had. Who knows the 6 Ds?
I think I do.
Was that Tara?
I think I know some. I know the divorce, death, deployment.
Diapers,
What?
divorce, death,
You got divorce,
diapers,
death, diapers. We're
Diamond.
halfway there. Living on a prayer.
diamonds.
Diamonds. Okay, 2 more.
Deployment.
There we go.
Diplomas.
What's the last one?
And
Diplomas.
distressed, stressed.
Diploma.
Diplomas.
Oh.
Yeah, so I like to remember these, I like to go in order. So first we have diamonds. Typically somebody gets engaged. So we have a diamond. Then they mess up and they have a baby, right? Then we have our diapers. I say that as a loving father of 2. I just joke there. So we have our diamonds, then we have our diapers. We hope this never happens, but there is divorce that could happen inside of here, right? That's number 3. Eventually those babies that were in diapers graduate, so they receive their deployment. And then obviously we have death and deployment. Those things happen as well. So those are our 6 moves that we experience here, kind of in that order. That's kind of the best way to remember. Just kind of think of the lifestyle that people kind of go through. Now, what I want to uncover, though, is that so if we know that this is why people have moved, what are reasons why people do not move? That's a little bit of a gotcha question from a MAPS coach, which you shouldn't do. And
They're
yet,
complacent.
are people moving for fun?
Well, maybe.
Depends on if they're buying, moving to Hawaii or Amelia Island.
Perhaps I would make the
Fair.
argument that
Detroit, maybe not.
I'd make the argument
Fair.
that probably a life event happened first. I just don't decide that, hey, I'm bored, so I'm going to pack up all of my stuff inside of boxes and move it, right? There's usually something that triggers that. So let's just say, hey, people don't move for fun. Do people move because interest rates are low?
No.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
It's a common misconception. Oh, rates are low. That means that like people are going to move. I mean, more transactions happen because there's less friction, but they still had a reason why they moved.
Yeah, this one could be a little controversial. Do people move because they got a great deal on their commission with their buyer's agent?
No.
Yeah, that one should be a funny one to see in July. But the answer to that one is no. So don't. I'm just going to go ahead and pre-say this now. Don't give me that crap about, well, the NAR settlement impacted my ability to sell real estate. Nope, that's not happening. People aren't moving because of commissions.
No, and once again, all commissions are negotiable. Okay.
Yes. Can I comment on that real quick? So I heard this from
Depends. I don't know. I don't know. Is this a legal friendly?
this
comment?
this is absolutely legal friendly.
Okay.
I promise you that I'm not going to get in trouble with the region. So I heard it from Gary. This was inside one of the masterminds we had with coaches. Gary said, he basically came to us and said, hey, do you remember the lawsuit that McDonald's had whenever McDonald's spilt the hot coffee in the person's lap at the drive-thru?
Yes.
I remember that. That was a big deal. What was the result of that lawsuit?
Hot coffee being printed on the cup.
Yeah, there was now a label that said coffee is hot. Was coffee hot before McDonald's got sued?
Yep.
Were
Yeah.
commissions negotiable before the NAR settlement?
Yeah.
We just have to say it out loud. We have to make sure that we communicate that coffee is hot and the commissions are negotiable. They always have been. It just wasn't as clear as coffee was hot before.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. So going back to this, we know why people move. We know why they don't move. But do we know a little bit more in detail of when people move? So let me ask this a fun way. On average, how long do people stay inside of their home? We know that number, right?
3 to 7 years.
I heard the right answer. I heard 7 years, right? That's what we typically hear. Can I tell you that that's a little bit of a myth understanding, if you will? What I want to share with y'all is the 5 moves. Now, this is something that I learned from Gene Rivers. And I think when he shared this, it really made a ton of sense on data collection for me. So the first move that we experience is what? What's the first purchase a person makes? Not a trick question.
Starter home.
Yeah. Starter home, or we call these people first-time home buyers. I apologize that y'all have to see my handwriting today. That's what we're working with. All right.
And he's using
after
remarkable. If anybody hadn't figured that out, he's using remarkable. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. The second move, and there's a really cool NAR stat about this. We call this one. Anyone know this next one? If we have our first-time home buyer, what's the second move?
Move up.
Not quite the move up. That's actually our number 3. We call this one growing family.
Well, that's what we call down here, move up.
Okay. Well, move up's number 3. Number 3 is move up.
So you're saying like your family's growing, you've added an extra baby, but like maybe we still don't have quite enough space, or it's not quite the configuration we like. And so, we get
Exactly.
a better home, move to a better neighborhood, those sorts of things.
Yeah, what's really cool is that I know that all of you have seen like the slide deck that Gary shares about like the stats from like NAR about like the gross domestic product and all the other things on like people moving and the stats that we have. That's actually published from the National Association of Realtors. Like every October that report comes out. And every year there's a ton of information that comes in that profile of buyer and sellers. And what's really interesting is there's a stat in there that says 33% of expecting mothers make a move in the 1 year before the birth of the baby or the 1 year after the baby. But in a 2-year gap around a birth, a year before and a year after, 33% of expecting mothers move.
Oh, so here's a question. Here's the question. How could that be valuable? If you knew that someone just had a baby, what kind of conversation you'd be having?
I can tell you what I would not say. I would not say, "Hey, Patrick, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. Do you know anyone that's having a baby?" Because that would be weird and creepy. Don't do
Yes,
that.
no, I would agree. No, don't do that.
Don't do that. We're gonna talk some strategies on how you can do this. All right,
How do I
number
get babies in my database? Yeah, right. Like how that's funny.
number 4 is what we call our second move up. And number 5 is our final move, which is what?
Assisted living.
Downsize. Yeah.
It could be, though.
Empty nesters.
Yeah, we're gonna call that the downsize. That's our final move. It's the downsize. Now-
Empty nesters would fall in with downsize potentially, but
Yeah,
sometimes you
potentially.
don't do the downsize till later. I know my parents held on to my childhood home for a long time after. I mean, it was almost 20 years after we left.
Yeah.
So
here's what I'm gonna demonstrate with y'all is that the reason why we get to that point that people live in their home for an average of 7 years is they use it based off of this like methodology. But I'm gonna show you how that's not exactly true. So at what age are we typically saying that people are purchasing their first home nowadays?
$25, $28.
We're gonna say 30. At what age are people leaving their final home?
80.
The data tells us 65.
oh.
So
What?
when you look at this, how many years of a gap is in between 65 minus 30?
Yeah, 35.
So if we take 35 years divided by 5 moves, gives us that number 7.
Hmm.
Now, let me tell you why this is really wrong. Our first-time home buyers, these are folks who are leaving the apartment, world. They're starting to get ownership, equity. They're creating their starter home. In all actuality, though, they're not staying in their 7 years. They're actually not even close. They're living inside of here for like 1 to 3 years. They have that first child, right? They may meet that statistic that says 33% of expecting mothers move within a 2-year period, the year before, the year after, but they typically fit inside that period. They have a baby, they need more space, right? We can't turn that weird closet into a nursery. We actually need a growing human. We're not going to Harry Potter it. We're going to give it some more space. We're going to need some extra bedrooms, but then we're typically only living inside of this second home, not much longer, but approximately 2 to 5 years. Then what happens is another child typically happens here, because we know in America that we have an average of 2.5 children per household.
Yeah, my oldest is 1.5. That's how I make up for it.
Yeah, perfect. 1.5 humans.
1.5 humans. That's
My
correct.
daughter eats chicken nuggets like she's 1.5 humans. Yeah.
And I don't mean that by weight, it's personality.
Yeah.
She's skinny as a rail. So
But then we get into this move up, and this is where they're starting to stay now, somewhere between like 3 to 7. So this is the closest group that we have that might be staying towards that 7 years. So if we have more than half of the moves underneath this 7-year period, what we're seeing then is that whenever somebody moves into this second move up phase of life, they're typically in their home at least 10 plus years. And then they're selling to downsize here. That's their final move, until they get put into assisted living or death happens and we're in a state situation. So the biggest mistake that I see is that, let me ask the question. Out of the 5 houses that somebody lives in, which one do you think is worth the most money? Which one has the highest sales price?
The 4th one.
Yeah, this one right here. And what happens is that everyone goes, "Oh, that's a really, really attractive price point. Let me go farm this area." And what I see is agents spend a crap ton of money advertising and geo farming these second move up homes. And they're like, "I don't know how my postcard's working." It's because like, well, you're going after a group of people who are going to live in their home for 10 years. You can't make them move. They have to live out that time inside of that home. So if you really want to build a smart database, I would go hunting and nurture first-time home buyers, growing family, move ups, and second moves up, because you're going to get repeat business. I can nurture somebody for 1 to 3 years, help them buy their first home, sell that one, and then turn to a growing family probably faster than that you can convert somebody inside of that second move up, and keep that on repeat. So you'll see the successful agents aren't just tackling the biggest price points. They're actually going over, how can I nurture a client for life and take them through this process? Make
Lisa had
sense?
put down in the chat, on the second move up, she had put, find data on how long they've owned the home in number 4. Most of your tax records, if you are going to do geographic farming, will allow you to pull the last sale date. You can make this part of your calculus here. I'm not going to send a postcard to someone under 10 years, just as an example, if you were
Well,
following this.
yeah, we're going to do one better than that. I mean, we had a really great session with Ansley today. We should be segmenting our database the same way. You should have tags in your database for each of these people, especially if they're past clients. You should know who's in their first home in your database. You should know who probably fits this category of growing family and move up. Now, this isn't informative. I want to now show you how we can use this to our advantage to actually go create business. But before I do this, does anyone have any questions on this so far? Y'all are way smarter than I am if you got this the first time, or I've gotten better at describing this. Y'all good? Okay. All right. So the way we use this then is we have to think like consumers. So I want everybody to just take off your realtor hat for a second. So I want you to physically take your hat off with me. I know it's imaginary and it's stupid, but I want you to do it with me. Take off your realtor hat, and I want you to think like a homeowner or a consumer at this point. When I can think like a consumer, I can identify their needs, and then I can adjust my messaging to help grow my business later. So what I really want you to think about in the next couple of minutes here is, what is a need that a person having moving from a first-time home buyer to a growing family, what are they experiencing, and what are their needs from a housing perspective? And we're going to speak in generals, right? There are a lot of outliers to this, but we can speak generically through real estate, somebody moving from a first-time home buyer to a growing family.
A backyard.
Yeah, that's a great one. Some yard space.
A
Okay.
flat yard.
What's that, Janet?
A flat yard.
A flat yard. Okay.
A great school zone.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're starting to look at schools, right? They may not be able to afford the best school district, because again, we're probably looking at somebody who's probably still dealing with college debt and some other things. Life is
Mhm.
expensive at 30. They may not be in the best school district, but they're probably looking to get to a better school district.
We had vendors down in the chat. So I think vendors could be useful to people who don't know who to reach out to for different things.
Yeah, but let's focus on specifically like the needs and wants of this group in the house. Not necessarily living in the home, but when they're making the move, what is a first-time home buyer looking to upgrade to when they move to growing family? So yeah,
And those
additional
could-
yard space, better schools.
Other
neighborhood.
children.
Oh, say again.
Neighborhood.
neighbor,
Yeah, other children in the neighborhood.
yeah,
Neighborhood.
saying the same thing.
Okay, cool. All right, now let's move on. Growing family to move up. Now we have to think, we'd probably have to guess that this is probably a person that's like 33 to 35-ish. And again, we're not aging anyone here. We're just trying to figure out where this person is and their buying power, the things that they want in this stage of life. If I'm in a growing family moving to a move up, I'm probably having a second child. What do I need?
More rooms.
More rooms?
Schools again.
I want to put square footage, because you run out of that when you have more than one kid.
Space, a bonus room, a playroom, nursery, some kind of extra space.
Really, what it all comes down to is all that comes down to extra
Storage.
storage.
Mhm.
Whether it be a 2-car garage with like additional space, a shed, or that bonus room, a finished attic to some degree, or a partially finished basement, we're looking for storage at that point. I saw Patrick laugh because he's like, "Yep, probably, yeah."
Oh yeah, no, we definitely, when we did our move up, that's what happened. It was like, we got another baby. We need more space. We need more bedrooms. We need more closets. We need more attic, all the things.
Yep. Cool. So now we're moving from growing family. We're going to go from this move up to second move up. And the thing to understand about the second move up is this is the house that the person spends the majority of their life in. This is someone's essentially like dream home in their eyes. So if I'm going from this like move up in which I kind of move my family to where we have more storage and some more space, the second move up is about what? What are they looking for at this point?
Status.
Status. That's the word I was actually looking for, Janet. Status, lifestyle, meaning that we're probably going to splurge on something like a swim tennis community, or heck, even a community with our own, or a neighborhood with our own pool, or a house with our own pool. We're looking for amenities. We're looking for the shortest commutes. We're looking for the best locations, the best schools. All of those things are a priority for the buyers. But this is mostly a status and lifestyle type of move. And then I'll give you the answers from second move of the downsize. This is less house. This is no stairs. We're looking for less house.
Less maintenance.
Yeah. Less maintenance. Nailed it, Patrick. Yeah, and we're looking for no stairs, right? We love our ranches at that point. And we're looking for lifestyle. This is where typically now we're seeing the baby boomer generation is actually looking to live inside of those work play, or excuse me, the live play type of places like Avalon and Alpharetta, for example, places where they can shop, eat, and live all at the same place. Cool.
There's also that whole category when you get a little bit, and I think it's kind of like the 50 plus thing. You have like the active living communities as well.
Exactly.
That idea of, hey, we've got all the exercise and trails and things. And like you said, other amenities and stuff there this becomes their life.
Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Cool. So I wanted to share this because I hopefully you're taking notes with me. I think the important thing that we want to look at, and this is the preparation piece that Patrick and I really want to show you, one of the newest and coolest features inside of Command that we're now going to turn into a content funnel for you, is that once we know these moves, we now understand what our people are looking for. And we're going to use this essentially as bait for our content to actually get people to go to our websites, sign up to our websites, and subscribe to everything you're putting out there, because we've now segmented and are communicating in an effective way. Cool.
Absolutely. And one of the things in this same space, so going back to the likely to list, this is how we're tying it all back together, guys, is if we can get people to register on our platform, we have a tremendous amount of data about their behaviors and the things that they're looking at and what they're doing. And by the way, I want to tell you guys, a new feature dropped while we had this call. So a new website feature dropped. Sam, you probably don't even know about this because it literally dropped while we were on here, and any of my other tech trainers. Here's your moment. Auto-save searches are now live in Command. So what that means is if somebody goes to your website, they register, and they don't create a saved search, it's going to look at what they've been looking at, and it's just going to put them on a saved search.
Sweet.
So it is a very exciting piece that actually even goes into this as well.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to give everyone here 10 seconds to take a screenshot if you need this before we unshare this screen and then go to another one. 5, 4.
What does number 5 say again?
Number 5 says downsize.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reasons is just the less.
Less maintenance and no stairs. They want single.
And they're looking for active communities and an easier lifestyle.
They're looking for convenience.
Yep.
Convenience.
Yep. Cool. All right, we're gonna stop that share. And then we're going to go to our websites. So if y'all were hanging out watching the videos while we're on break, you may have heard Talia and Donnie talk about our new websites. This is where we're at today. And the feature that Patrick and I really wanted to kind of explore to tie all this together is, I guess, the second most recent release now that we have this new one, which is the compare feature inside of Command. So
well, what's funny is it's not even an agent feature, guys. This is a consumer feature, but we think it has huge agent implications from a use case perspective. So y'all can use this, but it is a consumer feature. I say that in air quotes. So you're going to have to register on your own website to get started.
yeah, and you will see I am registered inside of my website. So there is a Sam Jackson version of me that is logged in here. So if you are following along with me, there's a good chance you will get hit with the lead capture. screen. I'm going to show you that at some point anyways, but ideally what you want to do is sign up, create a profile. You can't do that with your @KW email address. So just make sure that you sign up on your own website with a personal personal email address of some sort. But what you want to do is just come in here and kind of search properties. Now let's use that example of the 5 moves. Of the 5 moves, who do we want to target? Let's just say that we want to be very intentional about going after and targeting one of those groups as an action item from successes under your command today. If you had to pick move 1 through 5, which one sounds the most enticing to you?
2.
2? Okay. So 2 is the growing family, and they're going from growing family to move up. So meaning that they've already lived inside their second home. They're probably expecting another child at this point, and they're going to be moving into what we call their first move up home. Now, who remembers growing family into a move up home? What are their priorities? What are they looking for?
More rooms, square footage and storage.
Yep, that's it. So here's how you use your website as a tool. What I'd recommend is come to your version of the website. I'm on my own. Choose the area. I just picked my current location, so it pulled where I live in Cumming. But what I'd like you to do is actually click on like these filters up here. So I know that somebody going from growing family to move up is looking for more space, more storage. So what you could do is apply these filters for, well, I probably want to have a price range. We know that that group, if they're looking to live inside of Cumming, are probably, I would say, below 600 at that point. Their minimum, they're probably, I'd say, above 350. And again, making some estimated guesses here. We know that space is important to them. So I'm going to say we probably need at least 3+ bedrooms, probably 4. Bathrooms is going to be probably important as they live in this home a little bit longer now. This is the group that may live up to 3 to 7 years inside their home. They probably need at least 3 bathrooms. Now, if you want to, you can actually mess around with things like the living area. I can probably come in here and find a square footage that makes sense for that group. And I don't want to limit it here because I don't know what the results are going to be. I'd rather just see what we get here and then filter it from there. But once I have an idea of like, hey, this group's probably looking for a 4-3, somewhere between 350 to 600, I'm going to click the show results button. And wouldn't you know it, there's only 2. Not exactly the friendliest part of town for that demographic. And yet here's how this new tool works. I'm actually going to favorite both these properties really quick just by hitting the heart button. And then I'm going to click into one of them. So I'm going to pick this one here in Sewanee. And if you haven't seen this feature yet, this exists on every single property or every single listing that we have now inside of Command. You have the pictures, which is the #1 thing that we know that online consumers are looking for. We have all of the information that's inputted from the MLS. It goes all the way through there. It's not the part I'm looking for today, though. I'm looking for this newest button or second newest button, which is the compare this home feature. So this exists on every single listing. And when I select this, it's going to allow me to compare these homes. Now, the reason why I said let's go ahead and favorite a property is because if I come in here without favoriting a property first, it's a little bit more challenging to kind of go through here and create what I want to compare it to. But it allows me to compare this home, which I click the compare home button to any other home that's in my favorites. And you can see that the other home that I had featured here is not highlighted, having that like Prisma box around the outside of it. I'm going to click on it, and now I can compare these 2 homes. Or I can compare multiple ones. These aren't in the same city, so I'm going to deselect those. But I have these 2 properties selected. I'm going to hit compare, and I can see a side-by-side comparison of these 2 homes. Now,
and you can add another as well. So if you wanted to go deeper and deeper, and to me, this always reminds me of like some of the CMA tools your MLS has. So that, you know, where you can do the side-by-side comparison. But remember, we're on the consumer side right now. I'm air quoting this, consumer side.
Yeah, and what we've done on the agent side is that we've made some best guesses, and we're doing our homework to say, hey, if I really want to target the growing family into move up type of buyer who potentially has a house to sell, we've identified the homes that have at least 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, that probably offer more storage and space for the people who are seeking it. Unfortunately, there's only 2 properties that came up on my list, so we're going to go ahead and just use these 2 properties. But I would encourage you that if your results give you more and more based on your geographic farming, go for it. But here's the cool thing about this feature is that I can share this now as an agent and actually do lead capturing. So I'm going to copy this URL from the top, and I'm going to drop it inside of the chat. I want you all to click on this link and just tell me what happens. What's your experience?
It wants me to register.
What's another way of saying that one inside the KW world?
Capture the contact.
I just captured you as a lead if you filled that out. And feel free to if you want to. I'm not going to bug you. I'll know that it's from today. I just captured a lead. Now, I baited you into that because I said, hey, click on my link. We're inside of a Zoom window here. Ultimately, though, the way I would use this in real life is I'm going to copy this link, and instead of pasting it into a Zoom chat, I'm going to use this as my content on Facebook. What I would probably do is take a screenshot of my screen, something like this, go to Facebook or go to my newsletter and create a post about this. And I can say something like, looking for some more space. Just found 2 homes. If I could type and talk at the same time, just found 2 homes. Something like that. I'm being very specific in my message now that says, I'm only targeting the people that are looking for more space. These 2 homes aren't for everybody. And yet the people who are following me on Facebook, or if I were to share something like this inside of my messaging, inside of a newsletter, this is going to appeal to them because we know that that group is looking for more space. I'm talking their language. I'm talking about their needs and wants. And then you've already experienced this. When I post this and people click on it, I'm not getting downloads. I'm getting subscriptions, or I'm getting leads from my website now. This is now becoming a funnel for me.
Absolutely. Another thing, guys, because we had some questions. When you click on this, it's going to bring you to, and actually, Sam, copy and paste your link into like an incognito window so that they can see what that would look like if you weren't logged in. I think that's one of the confusing points we've had. A couple people like, hang on a second, it's asking me to sign in. That's what you want it to do. And so if you feel that people are getting confused, like you're sending this out through newsletter directly, just put something in there that just says like, sign up to learn more.
Yep.
To tell them ahead of time. When they put that information in, this is the lead capture. Okay, so if they want that information, they will put it in. You can frame it up in your post, you can frame it up in your messaging when you're sending out an email, you can frame it up however you need to. I even tested, I'm logged in to my KW website, but I even tested Sam's link, and guess what it did? It asked me to sign up.
Yep. Apparently I'm missing some characters.
All right, now I know that's Sam's password.
Yeah, well, yeah, for Billy Bob here.
And
should be at the repair tool.
I bet if Sam were to check his notifications inside Command, he would have a notification, or his app. Yep, his watch just went off.
Yep.
Saying someone registered on his website.
Yep. So this is how we get people to download your site or get active within your website. This not only will ping me that I now have a client, and I'll get to see their activity. This is how we get them off of Zillow. This is how we get that data that then Command knows, hey, not only do we have a person with all their information, we know that they're inside that move up phase based on our tags and the other data that we have. If we're collecting their name, their telephone number, their email address, and physical address, we can start to collect this data, and Command will probably rank Billy Bob with a higher ranking of likely to move based on his activity inside our website and all the other cool stuff.
Hey, Sam, let me ask you this. You have an Apple Watch, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything special you have to do to get command to send push notifications to your watch, or do you just make sure push notifications are turned on inside your phone settings?
I believe it's just inside my phone settings. I didn't have to download anything special for my watch. I just have the command app on my phone. So when I get a command app on my, or a command notification on my phone, it pings to my watch.
That carries through to your watch. Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, Hayes, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I was just curious, what happens if you are on Facebook mobile, like the app, and you click on that link?
It
Are we friends on
should-
Facebook?
I
that's
do
a
believe
really
we
good
are.
question.
Yeah. Let me know, Hayes. I'm going to post it on my wall.
All right, good deal.
Hey, this is what we do.
Yeah.
This is what we do, guys.
Forget the other 4,000 people I'm friends with. That's going to be weird for them. But hey, we're doing it today.
I am pretty sure what it's going to do is it is going to
You didn't put the link on there.
forgot the link.
Whoops.
Yeah.
There we go.
Art.
All right, so it just opens up the browser window within the Facebook app.
Probably
Yep.
still forces you to register. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Garrett,
Garrett, you have a
something?
question?
Yeah, so just real quick at the beginning, Sam, you created a user profile for yourself on your own website. Is that how we start? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and just like I did with like Billy Bob, like I just created, half the time mine's fake, like it's not even a real email. It's just something that I have inside the login.
I
Yeah.
would sign up with a real email though for testing on this because as Evan and I are going to show you all here in the next session, you can attach lead management rules to this where when somebody does the sign up like just Sam just did, it automatically fires off an email to them.
Now, and just remember, there's multiple uses for this. I know for the example today, we kind of targeted the growing family to move up. If
Mhm.
that's not your jam, just go back to your website and think like a consumer. What is the person that you're targeting? What are they seeking? What are their needs and wants for that aspect of move? And then just do the search. Go find the properties that would be the next move up for that person, just like we did today. It may not be storage. It may be a price point for your first time home buyers. If you're targeting apartments into first time home buyers, you may just be focused on price point and price point only. Hey, here's all of the homes in Atlanta that are under 250. Right.
And here's one of the other things that we're really pushing home on this, guys, is you want to get as many people as you can to register through your platform. Can you show them real quick in Command how they know if someone's registered in their platform or not, where the agent site connection is on the contact record?
Yep.
There's a little check mark that goes along with the contact. And if a check mark is there and you can even filter by it, that tells you if someone's signed up or not. I would definitely focus on people who you're, I think, under your team account.
Oh, yep, sorry, Zoom was blocking that. Yep, I do know this.
But I would definitely focus on the people who don't have check marks on these because the whole intention is you're trying to get them to sign up. And so you can see this lead source actually shows up as new sign up site. That's a new one to me. I didn't know that I thought it was going to say KW app/site. So it's a different lead source than what I was expecting, which would mean that you would connect to that if you were going to do lead automation. But the whole point is now if Billy Bob starts looking at properties, you are going to be able to see that through your most recently active button inside of Command or your most active contacts button inside Command, which show them, go back to the home screen. We can show them where that's at. This is also in mobile, by the way. On that, let's see, do you have it? You have yours set up a little bit different than mine. Where
Yeah, what do you need? Recent leads?
Most active contacts. They're at the bottom. You see all the way at the bottom where it has Lucy, TG, Billy Bob. When people start searching on your site, they will populate inside that module. You can also get to that module directly from Command Mobile.
Yep,
So,
and I can click on them and it'll show me them right to the contact.
So the game becomes how many people that are currently already in my database can I get to register on my website? And the more that you can get to register, the better. Just like Sam mentioned, it's getting them off Zillow, Realtor, whatever third-party platform they're signed up on that they're getting all the information from, they'll get it there. And now with the new function, if they go and do a regular search for a property and they don't save a search, it's going to automatically create a saved search for them.
Yep, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that one. Cool. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, any questions? How are you able to compare properties? Can you show them that real quick again? It doesn't have to be on a specific property, but just show them how the comparison tool works.
Yeah, so I'm going to my website, and again, I'll save the filtering aspect, but the idea is I'm going to go find a property. I've had that come up lately. Yeah, I'm just gonna click on, well, not a commercial, but I'm gonna look at this $3 million house in Austin. I'm gonna click on the listing itself, and then you'll see like the typical listing. When I scroll down just a little bit for my screen size, you're gonna have a compare this home button right next to the property details. And when I do that, it's going to automatically pull up that home. And then from there, I'm going to have to choose to either find more homes, or I can pick from my different collections and lists that I have inside of here. So if I were to click on Billy Bob and what he liked a second ago, there should be the 2 properties that were there.
Did you like
Oh
anything?
no, Billy Bob never liked them. Yeah, so that's why it's
Never
blank.
liked
I'd
them,
have to go
so-
find another property.
So you would just, so Lisa was asking chat, how can we use this to find listings? You don't use this to find listings. You go find the listings on your own inside your website. You create the comparison, and then you share the link to people who might be interested in that.
I mean, the demonstration that we did here is you use this as content, as bait to go get the listing. So like, I know that if I'm targeting somebody who is going from growing family to move up, they live in a home. If I help them buy their next home or help entice them to buy their next home, then I should get a listing along with that buy side. But the number one thing that you should always remember when you're working online is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Food, water, shelter. That's what we need as humans: food, water, shelter. And we just have this innate drive to make sure that we always have food, water, and shelter. So because of that is so deeply ingrained in our DNA, you need to remember that people are going to always show up online as buyers seeking more shelter. It's not human to sell your home before you buy your next one, because that really breaks that pyramid of needs that I need food, water, shelter. So your people are going to show up as buyers first, take care of them as a buyer, and then address at the listing that they may or may not have.
I love that. Are there comps to pull? It's very, you could look at this. You could actually almost use this as like a quick CMA, like, hey, I'm going to print these out. You may not be giving them a price, but here's some comparables of properties in the area. You could send it to your buyer. When they, or your seller, when they go to look at it, you're just going to tell them you're going to have to log in. You've already captured them on your platform.
Well, I mean, you could kind of do that maybe with your friends. Like I would probably go grab a neighborhood, like I'm thinking of a big one like Martin's Landing. I probably spelled that wrong. But if I could probably find a neighborhood. Yeah.
Well, there it is.
Yeah, Martin's Landing is like a big neighborhood. There's always active listings inside of here. So what you could do is that if I know that I have I farmed this or I help people move into this neighborhood in the past, I can go create probably my own version of a CMA, favorite these 4 or 5 properties, and kind of create that side-by-side view. And just grab all of those. And this is something that I may send off to my clients that live inside of Martin's Landing. Just saying, hey, here's the 3 most active properties that are for sale inside of Martin's Landing. What are your thoughts? And again, just the same thing. I'm going to copy this link and send it off to them.
Yep.
They then register on my website.
So it's a great tool to take advantage of in that. Let's take some ahas and we'll close out this segment because I want to make sure everybody gets out on time today. So what are your ahas, guys? What did you learn in that segment? Did you learn anything?
It's a very cool tool that we can use. And I love the idea of being able to pick a neighborhood that you've already sold in. I like that. I just have to learn how to do it all.
I actually want to start doing my searches on there instead of the MLS now.
I love hearing that. Thank you very much. That's music to my ears. You're making my heart feel good. Great way to drive clients to your website. I love how we're able to pick a neighborhood we sold in and work it. Yes.
Yeah, I second that. I use FMLS all the time, and I think just using this instead is probably going to be a game changer.
Well, anything you can get to drive them back to your platform is a big deal, because then they live in your ecosystem. We have insights about them. Now, not to say for anybody who's in Metro Atlanta, not to say that FMLS's tools are bad, because they aren't. FMLS has great tools, but this just brings them more inside of your branded ecosystem. So you get a little bit more control around that. Let's do a poll real quick based on some things that we learned. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the 6 Ds, guys. So check the ones that you believe are part of the 6 Ds. So let's see: diplomas, death, detritus, diapers, divorce, deliquescent, diamonds, deployments, decanters, and dichotomy. So what are the 6 out of those? And then the 5 moves. So secondary home, first time investment property, first move up, second growing family, downsize, and triple net leases. Dog should be added to that list. Rebecca is lobbying for the 70s of real estate and one of them to be dogs. So, or instead of diapers, in lieu of diapers, dogs, for those who are, you know, dog parents. Delicatessen though, I know.
Dog/diapers.
I would love just to buy a dog sanctuary. Like that should be one of the Ds.
Is that part of your Ford? Is that your D in Ford? Is that your dream to buy a dog sanctuary?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like a huge barn dominium with like 30 dogs. Yeah, that'd be the dream.
I want a barn dominium one day. That's on my list. It wouldn't be my primary property, but I would definitely love a barn dominium in the middle of nowhere I could go write books in. That sounds like a wonderful idea. On like a nice hillside, you know. Anyway, y'all can do some MLS searches in the Pacific Northwest if you want to find me a house. Okay, we're gonna share these. Let's see what we got. And look, guys, y'all nailed it on the 6 Ds. Did awesome. And then on the 5, y'all did really well as well. We had a couple people with investment properties, triple net leases. Nothing wrong with those, but that's not why most people move. Triple net leases are mostly a commercial thing. And then of course, investment properties, you could be starting doors for like long-term rental or anything like that. So the 70s is the 7th D is Dolly Parton. Oh, well, that's one. There you go. So Jolene, we're at the end of our segment. All right, Sam, anything else you want to add before we go on and for the next bit?
Use it. Pretend to be a consumer. Go shop on your website. You should know your website better than your consumers do. So if you haven't played with your own website, start today.
Absolutely agree with that. Thank you, Sam, so much for going through that. You're an amazing talent. We love having you here. And you always do such a great job breaking down complicated issues in a very like matter-of-fact way that brings everybody along. So we love that. Thank you so much.
Love y'all.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to stop the recording. Why is my my interface over here has decided not to show? There it is.